Make sure everything's working, getting into the right accounts, and you guys keeping track of it. So captains, it's you guys, it's no different, but it's a lot more responsibility to make sure that you guys have it right. So, all right, what do we got next?
Good morning. I'll do my best. Ray Adams. Wait, did Rick go?
He's here.
Go ahead, go
Ray,
ahead.
this is yours. Get up here. Come on, man.
Okay.
Go. Let's go. It's only coming in for you.
You make the presentation after me.
Buffalo,
Get in front of the camera.
In front of the camera.
You make good time.
Buffalo 402 spill at Mobile, Alabama, the Mobile State docks. I checked the oil, I guess, in the engine, started the engine, ran down, started working the booms. It's been raining the night before. I pulled the scupper plugs and forgot to check them back and put them back in. Of course, the engine, they didn't put the dipstick all the way in. It started leaking out of the top of the dipstick because the compression of the engine, everybody knows a Cummins got a lot of compression. Started leaking out and leaked on the deck, out to the back end of the scupper rail, into the water. Ship called the Coast Guard after it shut it down. So the lessons learned here is double check everything, double check your engines. Don't leave, just don't leave the engine until you make sure it's all, no leaks or anything. And if you do, come back every 15 minutes and look at it, every 30 minutes and look at it. And that's about all. I couldn't remember anything.
Scupper plug.
Oh yeah, put the cover plug. Yeah, when you pull the plugs out, you watch the water go out. If it's raining or not, watch enough of it go out to put the plugs back in before you start doing anything else. Make sure the plugs are in. Any questions on anything? All right, that was pretty simple.
Wait a minute, there's one more.
Probably forgot something.
Then we had another spill on the Shamrock 901 down in Texas City. Now guys, this is not you guys, this is Team Services. This was the San Pedro. We had brand new tankerman doing his first job on our barge, and then the short tankerman runs the number 3s over. It didn't go in the water. The captain, this is another thing that we talked about on wheelhouse watch. Man, if he's not in the wheelhouse, nobody sees it. It just comes right out of the tube in the back and just starts filling up the whole deck, and we were able to shut it down in time. But just guys, don't let your short tankerman, you guys, don't leave the tank. He was down. He was stick reading this thing, and man, with 6 tanks, you can't have a spill. I can understand with the 804 and 805, 800, 801, 802, 803, they all have 12 tanks. Those barges are hard. And this only has 6. It's pretty difficult to have a spill. And we believe in Team Services. We're gonna keep believing in Team Services, but this is, I put a lot of heat on Jim Fletcher that owns the company. I just said, hey, this can't happen. If this would've went in the water, it would've been really tough to work for Valero. Valero, we have 5 tows working for him today. So both of our spot tows are working for him, and then we have 3 term tows. And then we also have a bunker barge with them. So, they're a huge customer that kind of came out of nowhere that started with this Pedro. So let's just make sure that you're having good communication with the guys. Make sure you're walking around. Make sure you're on board. Our tankerman did everything that he was supposed to do. He shut down his barge. They were loading the outside barge, and then all of a sudden, it was whenever the short tankerman said, "Hey, get your barge ready," our guy went over there and started opening up the barge, and sure enough, it started going over. It started coming out of the tank. So, and this was VGO, so it was light. So, man, it could have been bad, and it could have been bad very quickly. So, we just don't. Just make sure you're communicating with those guys. Communication. If you guys see something that you think that is screwed up, just stop work authority. Just tell them to stop. Even if you see your short tankerman jacking around, even if the dock gets mad and is upset, I don't mind. I want you guys to feel like you got control out there and you're control of your boat and barge. Because that short tankerman, it can go in the water all day. We own the barge, we own the boat, so we own the oil.
Quick, so everybody, Low Stars loaded at 10-6.
scheduled to be alongside the ship at 2200. The tide forecast to switch from ebb to flood at 0100. Wind forecast for 20 knots out of the north. The tankerman who will be on watch during connection and start off came from a line tow and has only completed one bunker job. The port steering ram was found to be leaking. During the pre-transfer inspection of starboard pump engine, emergency shutdown did not work. So I would say this is a pretty normal day, you know, for a lot of them, you know. And we're gonna go through this one at a time, and you're gonna score it anywhere from 1 to 5. 1 being, you know, no problems whatsoever, 5 being you really need to think about it. And the GAR model, the way it is, it's not about whether you're gonna do the job or not. If it's high, you wanna mitigate the problems, just showing you that there is one. If you put a 5 down there, man, I gotta do something about this. It's not saying you can't do the job, but it's saying that you need to figure out what to do the job. So, on the first one is planning. And planning is just what it says, planning the job. It doesn't have anything to do with doing it, so let's score it like that. We've had a little problem before, but that's all it's gonna be for. And on the planning, there's enough time and information to conduct thorough planning before the job or voyage. Consider how much information is available, how clear it is, how much time available to plan, execute the voyage, job, orders to all. And everybody needs to score this one just like you would if you were gonna go ahead and put it on your GAR. You gotta write it down, and then we'll go over it. Oh, you didn't get one? The look on this right up here, this is kind of tells you some of the low risk and the high risk. You know, orders received well in advance, kind of like what I was just saying. Sufficient time to complete the navigation assessment, low discharge plan, and the high risk would be last minute change to orders, info missing from orders, that kind of stuff. So it's just going to be from a 1 to a 5. And once everybody, yeah, I know I'm supposed to stand right here. Once everybody's done, okay, anybody get a 5 on the wheelman? Anybody get a 4? Anybody get a 3? Oh, you got a 4? Okay, what you got for a 4?
Well, I got a 4 because you're in Bolivar Roads. Winds out of the north. It's gonna be changing. You got 20 knot winds out of the north. Tide changing. It's gonna be rough.
Okay,
It's just gonna happen.
okay, so that's what you're planning. You already planning. It's 4.
yeah.
So you, any wheelman get a 1? Okay.
That's, yeah.
That's Bolivar Road,
Been there, done it. You're not worried about it? What's that?
I've been out there in 20-mile-an-hour winds and it's been really bad. I've been out there in 50-mile-an-hour winds and it's been like a lake.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
not only that, but really for that area, you've seen that you have enough time for the planning, so that's why you get a 1. I mean, you know you're going out to Bolivar Roads, you're gonna put that in an environment and event, not
Well,
really
it just depends on the way you look at it too.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's not about,
Right.
it's want everybody to look at it, whether they plan ahead. That's the whole thing about it, is putting it on there so you can plan. And, any tankerman get a 5? Okay,
The proper number of people with the right skill set, job wages and stuff. So you're doing training, I don't get it.
what's that?
I'm sorry, I was ahead of it. I got one now on the plane.
Any tankerman get a 5? A 4? 3? Oh, did you get a 4? 3? 2? Everybody got a 1 on the tankerman?
2.
Huh? Oh, you got a 2? Why'd you get a 2?
Huh? Going out to Bolivar Roads, tankerman had to always real wary of the lines, keeping an eye, still a little bit complicated out there. You might be in the middle of a stripping process and still have a bad line that's maybe unsafe, you need to fix real quick. Just
Okay.
a little bit quicker pace out there.
Yeah. All right. Somebody had a 1, I know.
I did.
Go ahead.
Once again, I've been going out there for years, and it's routine, as many times as I've gone out there, more than anything else like that. It's just, the hazards,
That's what this is
You
for.
plan for it.
This is what it's for. The GAR model is for people that's never been there, people that's been there all the time. It's just how you look at it, you know. And if you're worried about it, you need to do something about it. Everybody get together. So the next one's gonna be event. It refers to the voyage, job duration, and complexity. Considered routine or first-time job, voyage, number of participants, vessel, barges, or language barriers. And on the event, easy could be bunker job at Bayport during the day, cross-channel job from Texas City to Hot Foot, or a bunker job at Bolivar Roads at night is a higher risk, which, you know, here we have it. Cross-channel from New Orleans to Memphis, that's some of the higher. So, everybody get that? I think y'all might already went through it, but, any of the wheelmen get a 5. Okay?
With the tide changing, you may have to delay, so 20 knot winds.
So pretty much the same thing that the.
Yeah, it's already rough, and
Yeah.
then now you're gonna throw yourself on the bad side to try and plan for the tide change.
Okay. All right, any wheelmen get a 1. A 2. 3. All right. Because you're just old and been there so many times, is what you're saying.
Why I gotta be old?
Well.
Yeah, I ain't even know what to.
Just,
Just basically the weather.
yeah.
It's bad. And plus, I hadn't personally been out there that much, so.
And the boat you're on, but here's on the Kennedy, I think, so.
We
you
can
know.
change that.
I'm good.
All right, Tankerman, anybody get a 5? Anybody get a 4? All right,
Same thing with the weather, the language barriers, the first time routine, the first time job, voyage,
are you talking about the language when you call Ray, because you're trying to figure out something, or the ship?
between the ship.
Oh, okay, I didn't know.
And the board's person.
That's a whole other.
Any Tankerman get a 1? A 2?
Are we doing a stop gauge on this thing? Are we gonna be doing a stop gauge?
Just what it said on those orders,
Yeah, okay.
so,
Well, it's
We
the
got a kink in the
king,
switch, now we gotta do a stop gauge.
a 3?
it's the buffalo.
All right.
Star. You're good.
Mainly because of the unknowns once you arrive at the ship. You have no idea how fast that ship's gonna take a product, you have no idea how long the ship's gonna take, you have no how they're gonna handle those. Just a lot of unknowns once you get there.
Right. Yep. Okay, the next one. Team. Proper number of people with the right skill set for the job or voyage. Need to consider the time and position, time on boat, familiarity with area equipment, supervision, work hour limits, and fatigue. And team, you know, it's about the guys, your crew and everything. If you're full crew on board, captain experienced there, crew within work rest hours, tankerman experienced on the job, that's all good. And as this one here, you got a little bit more, short on tankerman and wheelman for a multi-hour job, wheelman on a new route, tankerman on a new job or product, crew member outside work rest hours. Any wheelman get a 5? Okay.
5 because the tankerman only completed one job. He come from a line also. Equipment. Your
All right, let's go off that one with the, what would you do? You've got this guy on there, you're going to do the job. What would you do to help mitigate the situation while you're out there?
stay in contact with, partners.
Yeah, okay. Any wheelman get a
Or if you
1?
have an extra
Oh,
guy
I'm
with-
sorry.
If you have an extra guy with you, deckhand or something.
Yeah.
Send him out there.
Yeah, that's it right there. See, you had a 5, the word, got to do something because this guy's never done it. That's all what it's all about. Is you're gonna mitigate it by having somebody helping. You're gonna help somebody else. The whole deal. Anybody get a 1 on wheelman? A 2? A 3?
I got a 3.
You got a 3? Yes, sir.
I just basically just said it was a line haul technique, didn't have much functional experience, so it sounds kind of
Yeah.
shaky, like you said, send an extra guy to help him just keep
All right. Any tankerman get a 5? Okay.
Same thing, you got a tankerman out there that's only completed one bunker job. And you don't know how long they're just gonna another woman riding over or whatever.
What are you gonna do? Say you're the other tankerman on the boat.
Somebody's, just wake them up, people will be out there with them.
Okay, okay. Anybody get a 1? Tankerman get a 1.
Being, you didn't tell me how many years of experience in line haul, but there's not much, difference in line haul between bunkering, because the only difference is you go on the side of the ship and you're using a boom. Maybe the next difference is paperwork.
Yeah.
Instead of using a dock line, you're using a boom. The wheelman, I don't know if he's smart, tankerman, he can ask the wheelman if there's anything he needs to look towards more, you know, common sense.
Okay. So you already had a plan. All right. Next is the asset. Proper readiness and operational characteristics. You need to consider the critical and essential equipment status, horsepower, maneuverability, seaworthiness, transfer hose condition, and the valves. An asset all good, it's all critical and essential equipment is operating. And on the other end, damaged wheels or rudders, inoperative, critical, essential equipment, inoperative barge equipment. So, any wheelman get a 5?
5 was because of the steering ram was found to be leaking, the, pre-transfer inspections, the pumps were in emergency shutdown, didn't work.
Okay, what are you gonna do about the steering ram? You're still at the dock. What's your first thought to do about that, since you got a 5?
Turn it in, work order, get
See.
it fixed, it's gotta be fixed.
Okay, all right. I'll ask the tanker on the next one. Anybody get a 1 on the wheelman? A 2? 3? Yes, sir?
Well, the ram, of course, being leaking and whatnot, you could either call a mechanic out, but don't all the boats have extra rams sitting back there?
They're supposed to, yes.
And you just change the ram out.
Yep, okay.
You've got plenty of time between.
Yeah, you got 12 hours. And, all right, tankerman, anybody get a 5? 4? 3? Okay,
Same thing, it's the equipment status or whatever, proper readiness, you had plenty of time to look it over, swap out with that extra ram.
all right. Same, yeah. Got plenty of time on this one, so you got plenty of time. Any tankerman get a 1? No 1? Anybody got a 2?
I got
All right.
One, you've got a faulty shutdown, so, and this kind of bleeds over into the inexperienced tankerman on board too. You got a man that does or does not know that, well, for the most part, doesn't know the equipment, he doesn't know the booms, he doesn't know all that stuff. Even though everything is operational and mechanical, you got somebody else who doesn't know how to operate the equipment.
All right, y'all didn't find out till you were out there about the shutdown.
Okay.
What do you do? What do you do while you're out there? You gotta do the job, so, or you
Well,
don't, I mean.
well, that's what I'm saying, you've got this guy that doesn't know.
Yeah,
So he's either gonna have to get up with the wheelman, or he's gonna have to wait for the other tankerman up to come out and assist him, in making a decision.
okay. All right, comms. Ability to maintain comms throughout the job voyage. You need to consider the availability and quality of comms with vessel crew and with external folks, other towing vessels, bunkered ship, document on your radio or cellular capabilities. Now on this one, this is radio contacts good, all personnel speaking the same language, strong cell signal, and that's not for people on the barge, I don't know if y'all thought that. Language barrier with ship or dockman, inoperative or lost radio or no weak or cell signal. Okay, any wheelman get a 5? 4? Anybody get a 3?
Maintaining communication, you don't know what language that deck crew on that ship's gonna speak. The chief may speak English, but the guy you're talking to not.
Yeah.
They just wave at you and smile and do it.
Yeah.
Something you're used to, but you need to
Something
worry
you're
about
used
it.
to, but you gotta plan for it.
Okay, all right. Any tankerman get a 1? Anybody get a 2?
I got a 2, general, you know, we try to mitigate that through hand signals, things like that, we send paperwork up,
Wait a minute.
to understand, you said Tankerman.
Yeah, I did.
We can send radios up, there's, I mean, like I said, there is a language barrier, but it can be overcome. Worst case scenario, then we can shut the job down until you get everything straightened out.
Okay. I caught part of that. I was straightening out my mistake.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Paperwork, we got radios.
Yeah.
And until
Right.
you got proper communication, you don't start the job.
Yeah. Any wheelman get a 1?
I did. The reason for it is because before you know you're going out there, we would check our communications and make sure that everything was in good working order for that very deal. Yeah, dealing with the ship is one thing, but mostly as long as we can communicate with each other, wheelman out to tankerman, you can pretty much
Okay.
get everything you need to take care of.
Any, hold on a minute. Any tankerman get a 5? A 4? A 3? A 2? Everybody got a 1? One tankerman?
That's some good wheelman.
Wheelman? Wheelman, no?
Well, no, I said that's some good wheelman.
Huh?
Tankerman confident.
Well, let's just leave it because I think I messed up on that one. The last one, environment. External conditions affecting the performance of the personnel and asset. Consider weather, time of day, sea state, currents, water, air temperature, and visibility. You know, on this one here, of course, probably hardly ever happens about roads, calm waters, mild temperature, sunny skies, little to no current. And which almost always happens, 3 or 4 foot seas, 50 knot winds, less than 3 nautical miles visibility, high river levels. All right, we won't do that on out there, bottom roads, or lightning. You know, throw that in just for good measures. All right, on wheelman, anybody get a 5? A 4?
Tide, seas, current swapping, time of day.
Okay.
Side of the road.
You scared?
Huh?
Were you scared?
Could be.
Okay, all right. Any wheelman get a 1?
You never know.
A 2? A 3? Oh, you got a 2?
Same deal, the tide, current, winds blowing.
Shh.
Tide swapping.
But see, knowing that information right there helps.
Huh?
Knowing when the tide's gonna swap helps your planning immensely.
It does. It
Absolutely.
didn't help me, but you know.
But it also depends on what side of the ship's going to hook up onto.
Well, I don't give them a choice.
Choice out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that what you're getting at?
But more importantly, if you know that you're going to be out there on one side during the hookup, go to the side that it's going to change to automatically, because you can always hook up the hose while it's a little rough, and you won't get started by the time that tide changes. So you'll be on the other side already in clear water most of the time. That doesn't always happen, but 9 times out of 10.
Deal with pilot.
You're also in the Charlie.
What's that?
Too, right?
Pilot
Yeah,
spot
channel,
available.
ferry boat.
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Any tankerman get a 5?
Worst place to be, North Wind.
Any tankerman get a 4?
Just, the unknowns, ship traffic, like he said, waves coming off the ferries bouncing around, you've already got wind, you've already got, you know, there could be rain coming.
We're talking about sea anchorage, which we never go to sea.
So, I mean, there's very.
We always go to A.
Slam that thing up against the
Yeah.
side of the ship, you know, there's all kinds of
Yeah, we
things
don't
that
get
could
lucky to
go
go to
wrong
sea.
At this point,
So you get with everybody gets together and plan it.
so, right.
That'd be part of, you know, back to, you know, knowing, especially if some of you've been out there before, you got an idea what to do. Any tankerman have a 1? A 2? 3?
With the conditions that they're saying, it's just like a normal day of work.
Yeah. Just follow the roads.
That's it.
Follow the roads.
I mean, the one I said was, you know, the environment, you have, once again, you have to go back to that Tigerman that has never been out there. You have to think about that for him, you have to set it up for him.
Right.
To keep him safe.
That's what the whole thing's about. The whole thing is about, look right here, we got a lot of 5s. Again, that doesn't mean that you're not going. That means you gotta mitigate the problem before you go, or while you're there, or get everybody get together up in the wheelhouse and figure out what you're gonna do and have a plan in case something does happen. That's what it's all about. And on the low end, we still got some 3s. You know, in Bolivar Roads, probably you don't never see all 1s on any day, because you never know. You know, ship might come by throwing a swell or something. That's what it's about. You know, the whole thing about the GAR is you don't have to keep this. When you fill it out, you don't have to keep this. You have to put your GAR score on your navigation assessment and your load discharge paperwork. Every watch. But you don't have to keep these on any watch. You just use this as a model. So you can throw it away. It doesn't matter. If the score is real high and you have it on here, you don't have to change it before you go. That just means that you got a 24 over here that's in the red. That just means that you've got to do something to think about what you're going to do before you go. On, that's on Wheelman. On Tankerman, you didn't have quite as many 5s on Tankerman, but then you probably don't have quite as much as you're going to have to worry about breaking loose from the ship when it's rough or something like that. But you still got a lot of it because the new Tankerman. And I think everybody, you know, has done this before where you help the guy. And same thing, got some 3s on this side, but also got some 1s, you know, so same thing. Nobody got all 1s in Bolivar Roads. And if anybody got all 1s in here on Bolivar Roads, we'd wonder, man, you must be a pro. You know, you never had a problem in your life, or else you just never been there. Because everybody knows it's kind of rough. But that's the main thing about the GAR. It's got to be done. It doesn't mean that you can't do the job. It just means you need to think about what you're going to do it. So, and if everybody just, when you fill it out, you just put down, say, a 10. Okay, that's over in the green and not worry about it. Well, eventually somebody's going to ask you, you know, you don't worry about anything, you know, or everybody can put down over here 25 and the same thing, you know. It's great. You're worried about everything. But if you're that worried, maybe there needs to be some more training or something. But it's just how you proceed. It's not how, you know, the main thing is that everybody looks at it.
What I was wondering on that stuff, is it gonna be held against us? If
This has nothing to do with this,
okay.
no. All this is to show that you're looking at the problems, mitigating the problems, you know, before you go. Why, you know, when you do your plan, you want to do this. If there's anything in there that looks like you might need to worry about, well, that's why your score's there. You're looking at it.
should we be going over having a safety meeting over our thoughts and patterns and stuff? like
Yes,
that?
absolutely.
Well, plus that's what.
That, yeah,
Chad said
if you
too.
have it up here, you're going to Bolivar Roads and you're up there and that north is blowing and you know you gotta jack the wheelhouse up and you're gonna rock around like a little doll or something, you know? Well, sure, you're gonna talk to you want everybody to get together, y'all figure out, hey, if this happens, that happens, you know, you wanna talk about it before you go. But that's what it's all about. It's got nothing to do with anything else other than, you know, seeing how much risk is in the job and mitigating the risk before you go. Any questions on this? We're gonna be going through this for a while, just until everybody gets an idea of how to do it. And, but this is a little quick one on this.
And sometimes 8:20, we don't even get out of here. But I want to just tell you, we don't have captains meetings. I don't get to spend a lot of time with you guys, and man, we want to talk and go over some things. But I've been getting a little belly aching about, you know, guys getting back late and, you know, getting paid a half day or getting paid a full day. I know that the New Orleans boats, you know, they're gone. They go to Corpus, and man, we don't hold you for this meeting, and we don't have to. We might have whenever we had Paycom because we wanted everybody in here. But I don't want to pay you guys when you get off the boat. I mean, I don't want to give you a half day. I don't want to give you a full day. We just do it because that's the right thing to do. But don't think for 1 minute that we're trying to keep you guys longer. I don't want to keep you longer. I want you to get off my payroll on the day that you get off. Because, you know, that means if you're on, that means I had to give somebody else a full day. So, you know, now day and a half over, so I don't want that. So, just know that, but I wanna visit with you, I wanna spend time with you, I wanna see you. I don't want anybody to be a number. I wanna hear from everybody, give everybody a chance to speak. I appreciate you guys participating. We're just trying to get better. You know, I really feel like in the next couple of years, all this stuff's gonna come together. And, you know, as long as we can stay small enough and not build a lot of equipment, I think we'll get, you know, we're gonna focus on just getting better internally. But, I do appreciate y'all staying, but I just want y'all to know I'm not trying to hold y'all up. All right, let's go. I appreciate it.